Hey, howdy, it's Blugubrious. Normally, the insecure me is going to say, quick video, because I feel guilty for taking too much of your time. I'm not going to make any promises. No idea how long this video is going to be. I wasn't even going to make a video. I was just going to do this little experiment and then figure out what conclusions I could draw from it. And then I thought, hey, why not make a video and include the crew in on the experiment? So you get to take part in the experiment. Though, I'm going to disappoint you today because I'm not going to reveal the experiment. The reason is because one of the things I'm trying here, I don't know how to do it yet. I feel dumb. So I don't want to say the wrong thing about it. So later I will, but right now it's just fun. We're comparing 4 sounds. These are 4 guitar tracks. The yellow track up there is my vocal, so you can ignore that track. But the other 4 are guitar. They were all different sources, all different methods of recording, different platforms, formats, whatever the right way of saying that is. 3 of them are digital, 1 of them is real. The goal of this video is not to find the real one. If you do, great, but that's not the goal. I already know I can get good sounds with a real amplifier and microphones. That's not the goal here. The goal is, do all of these have legitimacy? Can they all fit in a track? Would they all be acceptable sounds in a final production if you're trying to get some level of professional sound? So I'm going to compare them. What you're seeing here is the 4 tracks. This first track over here is unmuted. This is the only way I know to do it in Reaper. Maybe you know a better way to do it. I don't. I unmute this one, and then when I solo these, they override the muted one. So maybe there's a better way. I used to know how to do it in Pro Tools, but if you know a better way of doing that so that I can just single click between track sounds, man, I would appreciate knowing how to do that. I haven't found a good way to do it yet other than this. So I'm going to hit play. You're going to hear the first one, which is the top track. Then I'm going to solo the next one, so it overrides it, and then so on. I'm going to go on through to them. I'm going to play just a little bit of each track. Again, they're all different. I didn't intend them to sound the same, so please don't say they sound very different. They do sound different. I already know they sound different. The question is, do they sound good? Not do they sound different. I wasn't trying to dial them in to be identical to each other. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. We're going to hear the first one, and then we will click through and hear the other ones. Let's hear it. Okay, here's the second one. Forgive the playing, by the way. Didn't plan on making a video. I would have tried harder. Here you go. All right, here's the third one, third one. All right, and then here's the last one. Yeah, so like I said, they, of course, sound different. And if I really wanted to be scientific, I could have made a loop and then ran it through and reamped. And I did that actually on one of my recordings before, to where I had one recorded track, one performance, go through like 5 different amps and layered that way. But I'm not really trying to be all that scientific. I'm really just getting these things in my ears to hear what the final sound is, because one of the sounds is totally new to me. The other 3 are, I'm very used to them. I use them all the time. So I'll go through it again, and this time I'm gonna skip to the middle, and because at some point I'm playing the PRS Silver Sky here, at some point I switch over to the bridge pickup, and how a bridge pickup reacts to an amp or a digital thing. That's for me a telltale sign of whether it sounds good, legitimate, useful. So I'm gonna do that. I will listen sort of to the last half of these now, starting with the top one. Here we go again. It's those chords at the end, those bang, bang, those stabs, the way an amp compresses. That to me is, whether you connect with an amp or not, that's the thing for me, is when, because I do that a lot. I play real percussively. So when the amp like starves a little bit, I love it. Okay, so here's the next one. Same kind of part. All right, next one. last one. It's interesting to me. I do love these things. I'm not the person that gets all caught up in the science or the physics or the technical things. I don't get caught up in that. I like capacitors and tubes and what number of windings a pickup has or anything like that. That's not me. So if this feels like that, that's not what's supposed to happen. It's more that final sound. Once I plug in, dial a few knobs. For me, I really am trying to get to an end goal. I don't spend a lot of time working on sounds, except to use those sounds to make music. That's a novel idea, isn't it? Making music. So yeah, anyway, be interested to see if you have or hear if you have any thoughts. Are they good? I mean, when you hear each one, here's that first one. Second one. Third one. Last one. I can tell you, after all these years of playing guitar or doing whatever approximates playing guitar, trying to, that I am amazed at what digital can do. I've talked about it on this channel before, and you can go, there's a video all about it, or at least somewhat about it, that I used to gig. I used to be a gigging guy and played blues and Hendrixy stuff and mainly Stevie Ray Vaughan type stuff, Clapton, all that stuff back in the day when those guys were influential. And I played a Strat, a Fender Strat, through a real, genuine, all original 1965 twin reverb with the big JBL speakers in them. Now, I didn't know what I had at the time. I ended up having to sell that amp for food. Some of you have been there before. And I actually now, currently, right over there, have another one, a real one. Like the real thing, not a reissue, not a Tone Master, because a friend of mine left it to me when he passed away, and his family did. And so I'm blown away that I have one. I have a real 61 Deluxe. I love those amps. I just never turn them on. I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings, but for me, it isn't about the gear. It's about that final product. It's about producing something. It's about landing with a piece of music that you love the sound of. So yeah, that's where I'm at in the journey. So I'm trying to figure these things out because I'm not too precious about how to get there. If it's an expensive piece of gear and I can afford it, I'll use it. Can't usually afford expensive gear, but if it's a cheap piece of gear and it gets the job done, I'm not bothered by that. In fact, the amps, the real amps you're hearing in this recording that are really there, are my Joyo amps. I can tell you, I'm not telling you which recording they are, but I am going to tell you they're when I bought them, they were like $159. So they're sitting right next to a pretty precious 1965 twin, but I'm playing through $250 amps, And gear is a means to an end. And so this is me trying to figure out how to get to the end in a meaningful way. And today I added a new thing that I'm not exactly sure how I'll use. I just wanted to see how genuine it sounded. Does it sound real? Does it feel real when I'm playing it? Does it feel like I'm playing the real thing, the thing I remember playing and the thing I like to write music on? So would love your thoughts down below. I will probably talk more about this stuff in the future because I really do like talking about it. And I particularly like, when people act so smart and seem to know everything. It's kind of fun sometimes to, needle them a little bit, maybe be a little bit contrarian, be a little bit of a rebel out there. Tell somebody, I got my $80 Squire going through my $150 Joyo, and I'm pretty happy how it sounds. Yeah, I got a little problem with that. We'll talk about that another time too. Anyhow, thank you for watching. If you did, I don't know, you might want to look in the mirror if you watched this whole video. Take care.